All right, y'all. It's Larry. We back with the pod.
What's up?
My boy Nate. So basically, we're just getting back to you guys. We're here at the gym, finishing up the last week of the regular season.
Yep.
It's been a fucking incredible ride.
Yeah.
I can't think of so many people that that have supported us. I do want to give a nice little shout out to Summers Realty.
Yep. Summers
Without
Realty.
Summers Realty,
Yep.
we wouldn't be doing this podcast. At the same time, Flavios has really helped us out.
Of course.
And so basically, I think this whole podcast is just going to be a little bit of an update, but not everything.
Yeah. No, we are gonna touch base on. We're gonna go back to week 2.
Right.
We didn't do. We did the games, but we didn't do the player of the week. So we wanted to let you know who got that. Also touch base with the week 3 player of the week. We're gonna go back and do kind of the games and the actual players of the game in detail, like we normally do. Between tomorrow's first playoff game and then the next Sunday. So we're going to have some stuff out for you guys, league leaders, and things like that we want to put out as well. But that'll be coming in the next one.
And I think it's super important because right now we're here at the gym because the seeding stuff is going on.
Right.
We got to see who's seeding where.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that you coaches are actively involved in everything. There's a game going on right now that is Mud Dogs versus Nephilims.
Yep.
It has playoff implications on it because if Nephilims wins, I believe, then they secure the fifth seed, right?
That's right. Yep.
So they'll get the fifth seed. They'll play the 8th seed, who I think is secure as well, and that is Triggers.
Yeah.
So they played one of the last games of the regular season on Monday. So it'll be run it right back. Both teams will know each other a little bit, be familiar with each other, and so it should be a good one.
Let's talk real quick about the seedings that we know.
Let's talk about it.
Like right now, I think we do know the 1 through 4 seeds for sure, correct?
Right.
Okay, so Flavios is number 1.
Absolutely.
We should be number 2
after
we win tonight.
But if we were to lose tonight, we could be 3.
We would be 3.
But no matter what, the way the playoffs break down, 2 or 3, they're going to play each other on the 17th.
That is correct.
So 1 gets a bye till the 17th. 2 and 3 are automatically slated in. And what makes it the advantage that 1 has, I guess, is they get to play teams that are going to play in a gauntlet. So basically, it's a race to the finish between the bottom, 5 teams or 6 teams?
Yes.
So we have it looks like 4 versus 9, and 4 is already locked in.
That's Terror Squad.
4 is Terror Squad.
Terror Squad, you are the 4 seed.
Okay.
Flavios, you are the 1 seed.
And no matter what happens with this game with Mud Dogs is the 9 seed. So we already have Terror Squad and Mud Dogs guaranteed playing.
And Triggers is the 8 seed.
For sure. So we have those figured out. What could change is it could be if Mud Dogs does beat Nephilims, we could actually have Brick City go up to number 5.
That's right.
And then Nephilims would be playing Pillars in the 7th game.
Correct.
If Pillars were to beat us tonight, which is the next game,
no change.
They still wouldn't change. They would stay number 7.
They would stay number 7 seed.
Right. So that pretty much breaks down the seed. So coaches, make sure you're looking at that. Also, let's talk a little bit about how we're going to do the MVP voting.
Yes, absolutely.
I think what we're going to do, I mean, if you want to explain it, go ahead.
So what we're going to do ours a little bit different. We've noticed in a lot of leagues that a lot of the same guys, and I think, not that they're not fantastic players, they all are, but they're also really well known. So we decided that what we're going to do is, obviously with our league, there's first, second, and third team. So we're going to take the first team guys, and we're going to send out basically stat lines to the coaches
without you knowing who's the first team, second, or third team.
That's
You're not going to know anything.
You won't know any of that.
You're going to know stat lines.
You're just going to see stat lines. You're not going to see a guy's name. So there won't be any like, oh, of course Larry's going to be first team, or any of that. You won't know. So because you won't know their names. It's just going to be based off what they did in this league.
And that's part of the reason why we have not put out the stats.
Right.
Is because we don't want you guys to get above and ahead of who has what. Like if I give you your stats to your team, you're going to know, okay, this guy is 29 points a game. I'm going to vote for him because that's my guy.
Right.
We're going to bring out all the stats, every single game, all the cumulative stats will happen next week. But we just want to make sure that we're giving you guys an opportunity to vote in who was the best player. And me and Nate watched every game, so we know who we think could be the MVPs and who are the top 5. But you guys only usually see them if you played against them.
Right.
And if they had a good game against you, somebody else might not agree with them. But if we put the stats out there, now, without a name, now you basically going to make your choice based on what those numbers say.
And their stat lines are going to be for all their games.
Right.
So it's not going to be, again, one guy may kill one game. So these are going to be guys that consistently performed in all 8 games.
Right.
And so you're going to get it, but you guys are going to choose it. Yeah. So it's not going to be me and Larry saying this is who we think is going to be the MVP. It's not going to be that way. The coaches are all going to vote, and they're going to decide who our MVP is.
And I think that's the fairest way to do it, because there's no bias in it.
Exactly.
So be looking out for the stats, because all the stats are already ready to go. They just got to be posted.
Yep.
And then you guys let us know if this is the way you want us to do it. If you guys think maybe in the next year, every single game having the stats posted right away and things of that nature, just individual games, we can do that. Yeah. We can do the cumulative stats. Let us know. Give us your ideas, because, again, we are trying to satisfy the masses. We're not trying to satisfy ourselves. We're going to put that work in regardless.
Yeah, so. And thank you guys I want to say thank you for being flexible with us. The scheduling, I know this first season was a challenge. Right. We had some things come up with the school. We don't foresee that happening in seasons to come. But obviously with the scheduling and with the stats as well, it's a lot of work for us. We're doing the best we can with that. But we will definitely try to do it the way you guys want it. So we're going to have a coaches meeting. Obviously you can always comment on Facebook and give us your feedback that way too, or just call and text us. Right. But yeah, we're really super happy with the way the leagues went. We hope you guys are too. Absolutely. And we're really excited. This tournament, I think, is going to be awesome.
Oh yeah, it's going to be phenomenal. I think it's and we're going to have. So let's just break down how the day on the 10th is going to go.
Right.
So 12-10, first day of the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Our plan is
tomorrow,
which is tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Yeah.
So our plan is to have the first game at 10 o'clock. Going to be at 10 o'clock. Yep. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think because the 4 seed was Terror Squad, they got to pick their time.
Right.
And
they haven't picked a slot yet.
Oh, okay. I thought they were picking 11:15 or something like that.
I think they said 11:15 or 12:30, but we're
right. So no matter what, they will get the one time.
Yes,
that they want. And then the championship game between the 2 last teams standing to get to play against Flavios, who's the 1 seed, will be at 3.
Yes.
So that's guaranteed. Whether they and then there's a game in between at 1:45 where the 2 teams, so 6 and 7, whoever the winner, right. So the 6 and 7 winner and the 5 and 8 winner will play each other to get back to the 4-9 winner.
That's right.
So that's how it's going to be done. So at the end of the day, it's going to be 5 games. All on the main court. Yep. No side-by-side courts.
That's right.
Bleachers out. Bring family. Bring your friends.
Yeah.
Come out. Let's make it a good environment.
See behind us.
Right.
It's a much. The side-by-side courts are fantastic. But the big court.
And it's nothing like it. It's like being on Broadway. You know what I mean? It's being in the Madison Square Garden or something. You're the head, and everybody's paying attention to that one court. So you don't got to worry about double whistles or anything like that.
We're going to also do some things, I think, with the starting lineup, some things that Larry and I want to do that are going to be cool. So
right. Stay tuned and just be ready. It's going to be a great weekend. So, come out, support your team, support Albuquerque basketball. We're going to have a King of New Mexico when this is all said and done.
That's right.
But what we're going to do is we're going to get out of those, 6 teams. 1 team is going to be left standing, and there'll be 3 teams waiting. 2 and 3 are going to guarantee play, and 1 will get the winner of that. So it's not like we're replenishing them, because they're playing a week later.
That's right.
So by the time we do a podcast next week, we're going to be able to show you guys the merch for the MVP. And we will not be announcing the MVP. We'll get the votes in as soon as possible. But we won't be announcing it until the end of the game for the championship game on the 17th. Yeah. So we'll be able to show you guys what the merch looks like, what the T-shirts look like, what the team championship T-shirts, and any kind of other merch that we're going to do.
Yeah, but the championship game, the awards ceremony will be right after the championship game. On December 17th. And again, that's when we're going to let you guys know first, second, third teams and the MVP. So nobody will know. So everybody come to the game, watch the good championship game that we're going to have. And then you may be on first, second, or third team.
Right.
So and but you may be the MVP.
Also, another awesome thing is one thing this league is going to bring, and that, I think the awesome thing that this thing is going to bring is we also have sharpshooter.
Yes.
And what is that, the marksman?
Yeah, there's going to be a marksman award. So obviously this is the Crown the Kingz League.
Right.
So we did a little play on words. So there is going to be the marksman is the top 3-point guy. And that's going to be not just 3-pointers made. That plays a role. But it's 3-pointers made, percentage. So it's efficient shooting. Again, we always talk about that.
Right.
So it's not just the guy who made the most threes, but it's the guy who
took the most at the highest percentage.
That's right.
Big
Made
moments.
the most at the highest percentage.
Right.
All of that is going to go into it.
And we'll probably have a list of about 4 or 5 guys with one guy.
One guy will be the marksman.
Right.
Yeah, he will be the kingdom marksman.
Right.
Yeah.
And so if you look at it, that's our play on words. Yeah. And we also do the same thing with the best scorer in the league. What is he?
Yeah, the best scorer.
He's the king of coin or something like that. Or what is he?
He.
I don't know. You guys will figure it out when we get it done. But there'll be 5 or 6 different awards outside of the MVP.
Yeah, rebounding.
Right, there'll be
one,
rebounding, shot blocker, and just stuff like that. So stay tuned, guys. We got a lot of stuff coming to you, a lot of awesome stuff that hasn't been done here in New Mexico, but we're showing love to everybody who played in the league. So I think it'll be cool that we start to see and recognize who are the people who shoot efficiently, but great. You know, I realized this season, I'm not even going to lie, I've been shooting in the 30s, and I'm like, I always consider myself a 40% shooter.
Just on your threes.
I know.
His twos are not.
But I just feel like that's just gives me more incentive to work, and hopefully that's doing that for other guys.
Yeah,
I have absolutely seen a huge change in the way basketball is being played.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of guys started the season off, and they were chucking, and then they started seeing like, oh, wait. I don't like them percentages.
Yeah, the quality of basketball in our league really just by showing and guys being able to see, because you may not even know. You know, you may have went out and said, "Hey, I thought I had a pretty good game," but then you see your stats, you're like, "Oh, it wasn't as good as I thought."
Right.
You know, so those are, or it's better than I thought.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's definitely, I think, improved the quality of the basketball.
And the cool thing is, I get a lot of people calling me, like Jay, he called me and was like, hey, can I get my stats?
Yeah.
So guys have stats, but I just haven't put them out there for everybody to enjoy yet. And we figured, just like in the NBA, you know, we'll do it at the end of the season, build up the I guess the momentum for it, you know, and we'll see what we go.
And yes, we are doing it on purpose to make you come to the championship game.
Exactly.
Because we want a good crowd here, and we want everybody come support the league.
It's free.
Yeah,
it's gas money.
It doesn't cost you anything.
It doesn't cost you anything.
You get to see a good game. Right. Hopefully, you get to see real Kings.
Hopefully, we're
bringing home the championship.
Hopefully, we're in there. That's the goal. That's definitely the goal. We did lose the Flavios during the regular season.
We did. Yeah, they're tough.
We're going to talk about those probably in our next podcast. We'll go over all the player of the games, all the games, and kind of break down everything that we haven't already broke down in previous podcasts. So don't think we're slighting you guys on that. This podcast, since we have a game coming up, we just want to go ahead and get started on what we had happen in week 2 that we had already talked about. We just hadn't given you guys a player of the game.
Yeah, we went through the players of the game. We didn't do the player of the week.
Player of the week.
And the week 2 player of the week was this man right here. He ended up with stat line was great. 27.3 points per game, 4 rebounds, 8.7, so almost 9 assists per game. Almost 2 steals, 1.7 steals per game, and he shot 27 from 55 from the field. That's awesome. That's pretty damn good. So
thank you.
I know how good this guy is, but and most of you guys do too. But yeah, Larry took home the player of the week. So first week was Londo, and then week 2 was our own Laro.
And so I want to just shout out some of the honorable mentions.
Yeah, go ahead.
Don Baca. Yep. Don Baca had a stat line that was looked like he had 1 game.
Yes.
But he had 31, 12 rebounds, 8 assists, 1 steal.
Yeah.
He shot 11 of 18 from the field, 7 of 14 from 3, and 2 for 2 from the line.
Yeah, his was on 1 game. That was another thing with 3. Larry.
Right.
Larry averaged that over 3 games.
Right.
So again, just keep that in mind.
That was probably some of the difference in why it was probably me over him. Because he only had the 1 game.
That's
and then he kind of ran through some little injury stuff.
Exactly. So, he hurt his groin.
Right. So
he should be back.
He
should
for the
definitely
playoffs. Back for the playoffs. Yeah. So. Hey, Dom, you got some incentive to come get me.
Yep.
We're going to be playing y'all in the championship, I hope. The second guy was Adrian Astorga.
Yeah.
He plays with us. He's
another real king. That's right. Yeah.
He had an amazing 3-game stretch.
3-game span.
He had 2 games where he had 30.
Yep.
He averaged 9.7 rebounds. And anybody who knows Adrian, he's very small in stature, but big in heart.
That's right.
Like, you know, so his effort guy.
He's 100 miles an hour all game long.
2.3 assists, about 1 steal a game. He shot 24 for 49, but 20 for 38 from 3. So that's above 50%.
Yeah, very good. And he was 23 a game.
Right.
23
a game in 3 games is tough too. So
that's right.
You know, you can imagine why we probably did well that week. And then the last guy is Isaiah Smith, and this is one of those guys that a lot of people don't realize. But he played 1 game. He had 31, 1 rebound. And he went 13 for 22 from the field, 4 from 11 from 3. So I want to give him some love because even though the Mud Dogs are struggling, they're a really good team. They're very competitive when they have their whole team here. A lot of people don't know. You may look at it by the stats. They sometimes have 4 guys.
Yeah. Well, the other game, the other day, actually, their last game before this one, they had to play with 4, and they gave it their all. But again, with 4, I mean. So it's tough to win.
And they play a fast brand of basketball. I think in our first podcast we talked about them maybe playing against ABC.
Well, that's Isaiah.
How fast it is, and
this guy's leaking out on
everything.
You better find him.
Yeah, you've got to. And he's playing right now, so it's 17-25. I'm not sure which team is up, but it's definitely 17-25. So
we got a good one going.
Yeah, so. We want to just make sure that we give kudos to all those guys. There was also a few other guys that we could have mentioned in honorable mention, but we're going to try to keep that to about 4 or 5 guys.
Right.
And so it was a great week too.
It was.
Everybody the league got more competitive because I think the first week, if we agree with each other, was a lot of filling out.
Yeah.
Like everybody was seeing new faces, new gym, new officiating. You know,
the rosters weren't set.
Oh man, it was crazy.
The first week as well, and I think the second and third week. And then, of course, this last week, everybody really started getting their rosters and their guys together. And so we know what we've got now. Everybody pretty much knows what they've got. And it's been the last couple of weeks, I think, have been really good games.
Absolutely.
And for the most part, we really haven't had very many blowouts. Again, even the Mud Dogs when they played
with 4, they kept it pretty competitive still, all the way up.
Under 20 points. So still competitive.
Right.
But
so we don't. Obviously, we have a game coming up. So
we do.
Well, let's just hop into week 3 and just talk about the MVPs for that week and some of the honorable mentions. And like we said, we're going to come right back to you guys and give you guys the feedback on every single game.
Right.
Break it down in a little bit more detail of each guy and who got player of the game and why and things of that nature.
And we'll put out the box scores we normally do, so you can see. We'll get all that stuff out for you as well.
Yeah, we just want to make sure you coaches vote these. We're going to get you guys these games have to finish so we can have active completed.
We'll get the list out probably tomorrow or Monday at the latest to you guys to vote.
Exactly.
Yeah, for the MVP.
So Flavios won't be here, so we'll probably send them something over the phone.
Right.
Like just a picture or something. But every other team besides Flavios and OTB should be here.
Yes.
So we should be able to get everybody to get their votes right away, and we can get it done really quickly and get up out of here.
That's right. Yeah.
So
so we won't go into the individual games, like I said, this particular show, but we will get that to you soon.
Right.
But we had 7 guys that we looked at for the week 3 player of the week.
Right.
7 guys. All 7 guys had really great games. They were all multiple game guys, but we ended up actually going. It was so hard we couldn't choose just one.
Yeah, we had.
We're doing a week 3 player of the week. So players of the week, I guess, are Phil McDonald from Flavios, and then Raul Sanchez from Real Kingz.
Right.
Yeah.
So congratulations to you guys.
Yeah.
Raul had a phenomenal week. I'll just kind of go over a couple of his numbers. He was one. We went 1-1 and I think we played 3 games, and I think he was able to get in 2 of them, I believe.
Yeah.
But we went 1-1 in those games. But I think he had a game of 22 and one of 28. So for the week, he had 50 for the 2 games. And if it averages out, he's averaging 25 points a game.
Yep.
3 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. And so that means he had 2 blocks over those 2 games.
Raul was sneaky with those blocks.
He's absolutely sneaky.
Sometimes he's longer than he looks like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But he went 18 for 29 from the field, which is phenomenal.
Yes.
And then he went 11 for 20 from 3. So that's
right.
over 50%. So very efficient. 3 for 5 from the line. So kudos to you, Raul.
That's right.
Why don't we shout out Phil McDonald's numbers and a caveat for Phil McDonald, he only played a half of one of the games.
That's right. Yeah, his numbers could have been even better.
Right.
That one game, I think he played a half and ended up with like 14 or 15,
14 to 16
like
something points.
So he could have, had he played that first half, Phil, he should have got here. You maybe would have been on your own.
Right. Now you got to share it.
But you're sharing with Raul. That's not bad company. So Phil, he averaged 20.25 points per game. 3.5 rebounds, 2.75 assists. Looks like 0.25 steals. He had 1.3 blocks as well, and he was also very efficient, 30 for 55. You know, so again, over 50% there. 3-pointers, 9 for 27, not bad. And then he was getting to the line, 12 for 15. You know, again, besides you, there's not a lot of guys that get to the line a lot, so that's a pretty good, you know, getting to the free throw line as well.
I think so.
Shooting a pretty good percentage too.
And so and those guys, they led their teams to good wins. I think one of Phil's wins in this was against us.
It was.
So it was a battle tested win. One of Raul's losses was against them. So
that's right.
You know, can't really hold that against him. You're going against the best. I think it was an 8-point game when it was all said.
It was. Yeah, it was a good game. We led for most of it. And
they caught us in there. But you know, we're growing together, and they've been together for a while. So we were hoping that we got a little piece of what they can do, and we've added a lot of things to our team. So you guys got to come out and watch us and support us, and you know, because we've done some different things with our team, and it showed last night. And we like a totally different
we have, and our team has changed a little bit too. We unfortunately had Kenny Lovato got injured, so we had to use one of our injury exemptions again. Reminding you coaches, you do have 2 injury exemptions. If you have a guy get hurt, you know, you guys don't have to just be like, we're without you know, a player. We let you guys use that. So a guy can come in and even play in the tournament, even if they didn't get the 5 or 4 games. If it's you know, again, if it's a true injury thing, like Kenny hurt his calf and can't play anymore, and he was a big part of our team, but we were able to find another guy to come in and help us play, and he's fit in really well as well.
So the way the injury exemption actually works is you are able to put a person on a physically unable to perform list, and you're able to use his games that he has and give it to the other player.
And they're done.
At
that point, they can't play anymore.
You know, so just to kind of give you guys a refresher on it, you can use those, but you don't want to use it for a guy who has 1 game, because if I've only played 1 game and he's only played 1 game, then we have a total of 2 games, and we're not eligible for the playoffs. So you want to have a guy who's played 2. And then you bring in the new guy who can play 2, and now all of a sudden you got your 4 games and you're able to go participate in the playoffs. So next year it'll be a little bit more clear for you guys. This year we're trying to stick right to the book. That's one thing that we wanted to make sure we did is we bend but not break, but we wanted to make sure that this league sets a precedence to what we're doing. If you think of the NBA, they're not sitting up here saying like, oh, we're going to change that
because 1 second. There we go.
Because one of our superstars got hurt, we want to make sure we change that to accommodate. No, the rules are the rules.
They are.
And then
I think the only guy this week or this season that we made a special exception was Donovan because of his car accident.
Right, he got in a car accident.
We did say that he would be allowed to play with his team. He put the team together. If any of you guys know Pillars, that's Donovan's team. And the only reason he hasn't played was because he was in a car accident. So, we did allow him. He's able to play. If he's able, he still hasn't really been able to come out and play
We'll see tonight. If he plays it tonight, we'll know if he's going to play in the playoffs.
Hopefully he can make it. Hopefully he's feeling better. So again, we're sticking to the book, but obviously we want to be
bend but not break.
That's right.
You know, we
exactly.
Bend but not break.
That's right.
We're all, at the end of the day, we're all New Mexico basketball players. It's a community, and we want to see guys do well. We want the best competition out there.
That's right.
And if we can get a guy and keep a guy out there on the floor, we're going to try to do that.
Right. Yep. Absolutely.
So I want to just give some honorable mentions.
Yes.
It looks like Lamar had a huge week.
Lamar did.
I know he said he had a shoulder little injury and impingement, and so he went 12 for 45 from 3, but he averaged 29.5, which is 4 or 5 points better than anybody else. You know? So he was the
highest average.
Right.
He just didn't get it basically just because of the percentages.
Right. And 5 rebounds, 3 assists, a half a block. So that means he had in his 2 games 1 block. Shot 20 for 57, even though he really wasn't shooting well from 3. So that goes to show you that when he's not shooting well, he can go do other things. So I think he had a huge week. There was a guy, though, that doesn't get a lot of love. His name is RJ Ortiz. He plays for Terra Squad. Terra Squad is coming to this league. They're the only one who put a loss on the Flavio's record.
That's right.
So they come in here, they be ready to play. They're young, they're hungry, and he had a great week. He, if I added his 33-point triple-double, which will happen next week, I guess I'm jumping the gun, but he did average 16, 5.7 rebounds, 3.5 assists. He went 30 for 48, so he's one of those guys that just attacked the basket continuously. And he only took three three-pointers, and he hit 2 of them.
But he hit 2 of them. Right. That's right.
And so he's another good guy, and I guess that other guy is Don Baca. So
Yep.
Don Baca, you averaged 21.6.
Yep.
Or actually, that's not Don Baca. I'm sorry.
That's Danny.
That's Danny.
Holyfield.
So Danny Holyfield averaged 21.6.
And 16
boards,
Yeah.
2.6 assists.
Great job, Dan.
2 steals a game, 1.5 rebounds or blocks a game, it looks like. And he was 23 for 53 from the field, 6 for 18. So he's continuing to work at that 3-point shot.
Yeah.
And 13 of 18 from the
Yeah,
free
he
throw
got to the line as well. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I guess the last guy is me, I think.
Yeah, it was.
23.6.
Yeah, you were honorable mention.
Yeah, 3.6 rebounds, looks like 5.6 assists, 1.3 steals, 20 of 39, so over 50%. 4 for 15 from 3, 27 for 37 from the
27
line.
for 37.
In 3 games.
Yeah, so on that list, you guys, Danny was the second with 18 attempts. 37 fucking attempts for this guy. I mean, that just when you play us, you know, he's getting to the hoop, he's getting fouled, that's what he does, and he makes his free throw shot. So it's just that I just laugh. We always laugh because he's the only guy in the league that's going to the line that many times. It's
everybody's like
nutty.
4 to 5, and I'm at 10.
It's nutty. And I hardly ever shoot free throws either, unless it's like the end of the game or something.
They got to foul
you know, and they got to foul me. But yeah, no. But another great week of basketball. We'll go through, like I said, the individual games and talk about those. But we did want to let you know the player of the week for week 3. Again, our first co.
Yeah.
So again, Raul,
Congratulations,
fantastic, and Phil also great job.
Yep. One thing I want to say is we don't care if you won the game. Our MVPs, our player of the games, don't always come from the winner.
They don't.
Because sometimes the winner's numbers just don't look right.
That's right.
They're not efficient enough or whatever it is. But at the same time, if there's an opportunity for 2 guys to get love, that's why we do the honorable mentions. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, that's also why we did a co-one this time, because couldn't leave one guy out without the other. Those 2 were hands down the 2 most efficient. Still got the buckets. Still did other things to contribute, and they contributed to wins.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's important to us. Absolutely. But so you guys give us your comments. We could use all your comments, all your feedback is big time for us. But I guess for now we're gonna sign out and get ready for our game. But,
finish these games. We got a game, and then we got one more.
Then we got one more after that.
Coaches, we will text you tonight with your game times for tomorrow. So again, game times again, just to recap. 10 o'clock is the first game, 11:15, 12:30, 1:45, and then the championship's at 3.
Right, and we look at the championship as you made a championship. You won the gauntlet to get to the end of the season tournament, which is the Final 4. Right. So you're basically those teams that are there, you're playing to get to the Final 4.
That's right.
That's a championship to us because we believe that team that comes out of there is going to be battle tested. Absolutely. They're going to be ready, and it's like a team like Nephilim's, who it kind of looked like they just kind of went through the regular season. Or Triggers. Yeah. Those 2 teams.
Very talented teams.
If they get in that gauntlet and win those 3 games and then have a week.
Get on a roll.
Oh, man, they could get a lot of chemistry, and that's what's most important a lot of times is having team chemistry. So
any team though, I really feel in this league
can win it.
There's enough talent in this league on every team that any team can get going and win and come out of that. So I'm excited to see, again, be watching because we're going to have several shows coming out over next week, probably Monday, Wednesday, Friday-ish, but we'll probably have 2 or 3 pods coming out to kind of catch up on some of the regular season stuff and then keep you guys in the loop on the first day and who's coming out.
Let's get it, man. So thank you guys for giving us your time.
Yep.
Watch this thing, man. We kept it to about 30 minutes. So watch this thing, man. Give us your feedback.
Yes.
Keep calling my phone like you guys have. I mean, I've gotten so much amazing feedback, which has continued to drive us to continue to do these. Also, next season is going to be starting before we know it.
Yep.
So any kind of sponsorship, we're ready. Yeah. We got some things in the bags that you guys don't even know is happening. We got some guests that you guys don't even know is happening. Yeah. There's going to be so much happening.
Next season's going to be even bigger than this one. Right. So if you didn't get a team in this time, you definitely want to get in next time.
And we got some great stuff. Like I'm talking, I don't even want to let it out the bag yet. I don't want to let it out the bag. We'll see you guys in the next podcast. Good luck to us tonight. Let's lock in that 2 seed.
Yes, sir.
And y'all come out here and watch some good basketball out here in Bernalillo.
Do it. We're here.
All right, you guys.
See you guys.
Take care.